Hello, I'm Asha Tanna in Istanbul. It's one of the oldest forms of investment and, according to the World Gold Council, demand in the developed world for the yellow metal is surging. In fact, it was up 15% in the second quarter. But with prices also climbing, some of the biggest buyers of gold jewellery seem to be shying away. Azhar Sukri has more.
It's not something you buy every day, but if you are looking for gold in Istanbul, you'll most likely end up coming here, the Grand Bazaar. But even though demand has been surging globally, it's a different story in this part of the world. In Turkey, demand for gold bars and coins is at its lowest level since 2000, when the World Gold Council began keeping records.
Gold prices are at their highest level in recent years. Sales are low because of the uncertainty. Gold is seen as an investment tool and as luxury spending. The demand is higher in Western countries.
Gold is traditionally thought of as something to invest in when times are bad. But here in Turkey and in many parts of the Middle East and Asia, it's something much more festive. No one, for example, would dream of turning up at a wedding without some of this as a gift for the bride. The price of gold has surged by about 27% since the start of the year. It's risen in part because yields on government bonds in developed countries like the US, Japan, and in Europe have plunged. In other words, people with billions of dollars to manage want to invest in something still regarded as safe, but which will give them a better return than bonds. And gold fits that bill. But the surge in prices has put gold beyond the reach of many ordinary people. İSMAİL Yilmaz has been selling gold coins in the Grand Bazaar for 28 years. He says global uncertainties are driving away many of his customers.
In Turkey, generally, the people want to invest the money for gold, but the gold price is very high. That's why they're afraid even to spend the money in the gold or somewhere else, because they don't know what's happened tomorrow.
And it's a similar story elsewhere. China and India are the world's biggest buyers of gold jewellery. But purchases in China fell by 15% in the second quarter and were down 20% in India. For many people, the warm glow of gold is a tempting proposition. But its allure is also growing in the cold, hard world of global investments. Azhar Sukri, TRT World, Istanbul.
Earlier, I spoke to Alistair Hewitt, who is head of market intelligence at the World Gold Council, and I asked why the price of gold is so high when global markets are also at record highs.
So one of the key issues in financial markets at the moment is the pernicious spread of negative interest rates around the world. Bonds are trading at a negative yield, and if you're an investor investing in a bond that's guaranteed to pay you back less at the end of the investment than you paid in at the start, then that's a real issue, and you've got to do something to react. And so you've got to reallocate your portfolio and think about your strategic investment. And what we've seen investment managers do is think about taking on a little bit more risk by going into stock markets and looking to generate a high return. But at the same time, they're looking to invest in gold, because gold is a tried and tested asset which offers portfolio diversification and is a hedge against all sorts of tail risks events. So what we've seen this year are investors looking to really make sure that their portfolios are well diversified and are hedged against any unforeseen circumstances, and negative interest rates has played a crucial role within that.
I suppose it's fair to say that the World Gold Council is not surprised by this hike in demand, but where is the demand coming from?
So we've seen broad-based demand across the investment sphere. So lots of retail investors have been buying bars and coins, and there remains a great degree of strength within the bar and coin space. But the real story in the first 6 months of this year has been in exchange-traded funds, and we've seen institutional investors ploughing significant funds into these vehicles so that they can make sure their portfolios contain an element of gold. So for the first 6 months, we saw 579 tons of gold being bought by exchange-traded funds, and the total assets under management globally for exchange-traded funds is up to $98 billion at the moment. So we see a diversified market, we see strong retail bar and coin investment, but the real story has been in the institutional space and people accessing it via exchange-traded funds.